I want to talk about leucovorin and autism. It's been in the news a lot. I've talked about it in the more distant past, like several months ago. I've done some posts about it. First and foremost, let me say there's no cure for autism. It's not something that we need to do, but we can do a better job of understanding it. We can do a better job of figuring out how to help autistic children, adults, and their families to thrive in our world, to make things better for them so that they can live and enjoy and contribute to the world. And that neurodiversity helps to make our world a richer place. Now, when it comes to supporting autistic children and adults and families, there's not just one thing that makes it so much easier, so much more manageable, allows them to thrive. It's really a constellation of different things. And one of them is the biology. And so when we talk about leucovorin, we're really talking about some autism-specific biology that we need to have a better understanding of. Leucovorin has really come onto the scene in the past decade or so because there's been some studies that have shown that autistic children have a higher rate than the typical population for folate receptor autoantibodies. These are antibodies that block folate from binding to receptors that then take folate up into the brain. You can have a child that has a normal folate level. You can give them folate vitamins. You can give them all the enriched white bread and other things that are added folate to it. And they can have a really normal or even a high blood level of folate, but those receptors that actually get the folate into the brain are blocked. And so inside their brain, their folate levels are lower. There's been several studies that have looked at folinic acid, which is a folate derivative that's able to get past those blocked receptors and into the brain. There's several studies that are small, but they are randomized controlled trials that are double blind that have shown an improvement when it comes to communication, when it comes to speech, when it comes to regulation, when it comes to sociability. A lot of things that are challenges for autistic children and adults have improved while using folinic acid, while restoring those brain folate levels. And so really what we're talking about here is not a cure, but it is helping the biology along and addressing a specific biological challenge that autistic children and adults often face. Now, we do use leucovorin folinic acid in our clinic and have done so over the past year or so. We have looked at it, we've looked and seen the small studies. Yes, they're small studies, but they do show that it's effective and that it's safe. And yes, we could wait for large, multi-center, randomized, huge trials, but it's a vitamin. The safety studies are really good. It is cheap and it's a prescription, meaning I know actually what my patients are getting. I don't just tell them to go on Amazon or go to Dr. Oz's website and buy some. We get the prescription form because we know what's in it. It's regulated. It comes from the pharmacy. Insurance covers it. And we decided, okay, we're going to try this because the studies show that it works, even though they're small studies. And we don't want to wait another decade to start offering something that is low risk to our patients. And frankly, what we've seen is the vast majority of children respond in a positive way. We don't just kind of look for the vibes. We actually do a monthly check-in where we're getting an objective screening score. It's called the ATEC. We do that every single month so that we can look at their scores and say, hey, we've noticed an improvement in their autism symptom scores, whether it's communication, regulation, sociability, all the different aspects that we look for in the ATEC, to say, hey, their score has improved over the past 3 months while on this medicine. I think we should continue it. Or, yeah, we didn't really notice a big change, and so we won't keep adding that. That isn't the biology that's coming into play for your specific child. Now, I think it's a very reasonable question to ask your pediatrician is, can we try this? It's also very reasonable to say, I'm going to wait until there's large multi-center studies to decide what's best for my child and for my family. And it's really something that you should have a informed conversation with your pediatrician about and form a partnership around, here's how we're going to support the biology, here's how we're going to support the speech, here's how we're going to support the sleep and regulation, all those sorts of things. There is a whole constellation of different ways autistic children thrive in our world and make the world more accepting and understanding of these children that add such richness to our world.